Okay, so here is how you do a weekly clean out of the Juki machine and change the needle. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the bobbin and put the lid back on. And then you're going to unscrew it here with this tool. And I kind of just swirl it around like that to unscrew it. Just a little bit faster. And then there's one more screw right here. You can also just kind of with your finger spin it. Then you can use this same tool to prop this up so you can get a grip on it and you just slide it away. And you'll see there's a lot of dust and lint in there. So the first thing we're going to do is take this off. It just comes right off. It's got a little magnet that holds it together. You'll also want to get the thread out of the machine. Cut the thread at the top and then pull it through. And then we're going to vacuum all this out with the crevice tool of your vacuum. So we're just going to vacuum out. The smaller the crevice tool, the better. And then you can also use some tweezers. If you see any lint chunks, you can go ahead and pull those out like that. See how big that chunk was? And if you do that and you see that there's a lot, you can kind of get it started here, also in here. Make sure there's nothing, no big chunk. This section right here, those little hooks, that is where the thread cutter is. So you want to really check here and make sure you don't see any loose threads here. You'll notice right away. And so if you're sewing with this machine and your thread starts to get stuck when you do the cut, you might want to take this plate off and see. The other thing you're going to want to do is vacuum this out really well. The little bobbin case, make sure there's no lint on that as well. We can't use canned air because it causes more problems than it helps. So we are just keeping it clean as you can. Just vacuum that off as well. The smaller the crevice tool, the better. So if you can even find attachment that's even smaller than the one I just showed you, that would be even better because it'll be stronger. And make sure that your vacuum bag is empty as well so that it gets really clean. So it pulls it out as best you can there. When you're done with cleaning, you're going to put this back on, and the way this goes on, if you can see, I'll hold it up against the machine here so you can see that little edge right there. See that little lump? So all the metal is going to be towards the bottom, and that little edge right there is, you want to make sure that's on the left side of this right here. So I'm going to put it in and see how it hits against that. That's how you want it to go. And if you notice also, I will use my tweezers to show you. See right here, there's a little edge right there. See how it clicks in? Can't be like that. It has to be totally flat. There's this little ledge, this little rim all the way around, and it has to fit perfectly on there. And you'll know it's right because the magnets will touch. So if it's like, you could very easily do it like that, and then everything will break once you start sewing. So it absolutely has to be like this, and it has to slide just like that, and it hits against there. That is the only way that this can go on without damaging the machine. So there's that, and then you're going to put the plate back on. Underneath the plate, you're going to, same thing, vacuum this off to get all the lint that's on the back of this plate. And then make sure you don't pull these little, I don't know what these are, these little like reverse Velcro things that kind of catch the lint. Clean that off too. Then you slide the plate back on, and it'll click right down to where it's supposed to go, and you put those screws back on. And they're flat, so they're pretty easy to put on. And then you tighten them with the tool again. And so the way I do these is I just get it flat with my finger, and then I start it. And then I tighten it like that. You don't have to go super, super tight, but tight enough where it's not going to move. You can't go real tight with this anyway, you only have so much strength. You can use this little edge too if it's hard to get to this back one, just like that. Okay, here's how you change the needle. Let me focus my camera here. So here's the pack of needles that you're going to use, and inside it looks like a gum wrapper, and you just kind of open it up and grab a needle out, close it back up. There is one flat edge to the needle. See that flat edge? That flat edge goes towards the back. So to pull the needle, you use your same screwdriver, you unscrew it, and you don't have to unscrew it all the way, just enough so the needle slides out, like that. And then this needle with that flat edge towards the back, you can just feel it with your finger. You dip down to where it's gonna go, and then you push up into where it goes. And you want to push up all the way, make sure it's all the way up. See, I could screw it in at any one of these points, but you want it to where it can't go up any further. You hold it really, really tight, pushing up, and then you hand tighten it, keep pushing up on it, and then you tighten it all the way. Just like that. Now the way we test to make sure that the needle's in the right spot is we use our threader. And you can do this just when you use your regular thread, and we just make sure that it goes through that clip. As long as it goes through with the needle threader, the needle's in the right spot. So always double check that before you start sewing, and then you know that your needle's put in right.